Hey, how's everybody doing? This is Matt Singleton again with Bible Smack Ministries. This is kind of like the fourth installment, although it might be kind of two and four at the same time. We kind of talked about atheism, and we kind of talked about some presuppositions to science, evolution, and things like that. I want you to make sure that you go back and look at those before you get to this point. Because that kind of is the foundation for how we can start talking about this subject, and that is science and creation science. Essentially, one of the things is that a person with an atheistic worldview is not capable of giving a philosophic proof as to why there is truth, because they deny the existence of absolute truth. And so we kind of went over those issues and stuff, and then I kind of went about how a Christian starts off with evidence by revelation, and that we have this experience that we have that when you compile it together, we have evidence for it, and yet at the same time, because there is no grounds philosophically for any type of secularism, then we automatically kind of trump that. We win. Okay, because we have evidence and there's no authority, because there is no truth, so there's no authority to debunk it. So now we kind of move on to science, and we're going to talk about the evidence and stuff like that. As I said, the first evidentialist, John Locke, or empiricist, he believed in God in order to kind of help him to kind of understand this stuff. And the first rationalist, Rene Descartes, did the same thing. So, as we go about science, the one who came up with the scientific method, Sir Francis Bacon, was also a theist. Okay, not atheist, but, a person who is a believer in God. Believing in one God creating the universe. He had a theistic worldview. Now, most of the founders of all the scientists, of the sciences, was also creationist and Christian and stuff like that. We had Galileo, he was a Christian, Blaise Pascal, Isaac Newton, also some founders of some of the modern sciences. Johann Kepler, that's with a J, founded astronomy. Robert Boyle founded chemistry. Lord Kelvin, he founded thermodynamics. Louis Pasteur founded bacteriology. Matthew Maury founded oceanography. Michael Faraday founded electromagnetism. Clark Maxwell, he founded electrodynamics. John Ray founded biology. And Carolus Linnaeus founded taxonomy. So, as we go through and stuff, we find that, science originally was a Christian concept. We look at our universe. What we've discovered is what they call a red shift, where, as they looked at a telescope, they found that every star in the universe is moving away from the planet Earth. And every galaxy is moving away from the planet Earth. How is that possible? Well, if we go back, going by the laws of naturalism, we keep on going back in time and going back in time. They came up with what was called Big Bang Theory. It said that the universe was absolutely nothing, and then something just popped out of it. Okay, not just the stars. Okay, but all space, all time, the laws of science, everything just popped out of nothing. Okay. Well, at that point, that's a miracle. Well, the philosophy of naturalism, which is the foundation of evolution, is a closed system to where you cannot have anything miraculous happen. But something miraculous did happen starting off. Not only that, but the first law of thermodynamics is that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. In our system, you don't see matter created or destroyed, you just see it kind of floating somewhere here or there. And you can break it down and stuff, but it still is what it is. So, the first law of thermodynamics is broken. The second law is where everything is in a state of decay. says that everything is in a state of evolution where it gradually changes and gets better. So if evolution is saying that everything is getting better, and the second law of thermodynamics is everything is getting decayed and worse, then we have a problem. So we look around, and there's a lot of things. The Big Bang Theory by itself, by the way, has a lot of issues. We don't know how the stars even formed. There's a fellow named Abraham Loeb, L-O-E-B, of Harvard Center for Astrophysics, and here's what he says. The truth is, we do not understand star formation at a fundamental level. It means we don't know how they form at all. Okay, let's just be dead honest, we don't. And they found other things. I think Answers to Genesis has a video on this called Hubble Bubble Big Bang in Trouble. But you find a lot of stars and galaxies that don't mix up into what we call laws of science, where, for instance, you'll see two stars and then there's a planet that's coming between them. Well, that's not supposed to happen. You know, we see a lot of these things that, you know, are just not fitting the natural order. I think there's one I saw, I think it had to do with like a black hole and a star next to it or something, but I guess I won't go there. But basically, a lot of these galaxies are not spinning in the same orbit. If you were to have such an explosion with the laws of motion, then everything would go in the same orbit, and they don't. Sometimes these galaxies, they have little arms, they look like starfish or something, they're kind of swirling, and when we look at the rate that they're spinning, they're going too fast. They should be a lot slower if the universe is 15 billion years. Also, here's another quote. This is from Sir Harold Jeffreys, The Earth, Its Origins, History and Physical Condition, Cambridge, England, Press, 1970, page 359. It says, it's important to be aware that there is no one theory for the origin and subsequent evolution of the star system that is generally accepted. All theories present models which fit some of the facts observed today, but not at all. So, what we're seeing here is like, if you really believe that evolution is factual, then you want to make sure that you have a specific history that goes all the way through. The Bible has a very specific history. So we have a beginning, and then, you know, you go across, here's a couple centuries, and here's a couple kingdoms, and here's, you know, what we have today. Okay, you have a logical line. But evolution has no such history. You know, one minute I see one report and it says that the universe is 12 billion years old. Then another report says that the universe is 15 billion years old. And then I once saw a thing which denied the Big Bang Theory and said that maybe the universe is spiraling around at about 72 billion years old. Now, we've never recorded more than 5,000 years of history. Okay, 5,000, 6,000 years of history. How are you going to go from 5,000 or 6,000 years of history to 1,000,000 years or 1,000,000,000 years? And you just add and take away and add and take away, and they say that's fact? That's not fact. If it was fact, it wouldn't change. If it was going to change, it'd be off by a day or an hour. No, we're just off by a couple billion here, a couple million there. So you see, everything's kind of hazy. It's not dead set fact. It's not true science. It's theoretic. It's science fiction. So basically, you have a lot of lack of explanation. Look at the moon. Many models have been proposed for the formation of the moon, but no one has succeeded in showing the formation satisfactory. That Shigeru Ida, Robert M. Knupp, and Glenn R. Stewart, lunar accretion from an impact-generated disk. That's Nature, page 389. I was out in 97. Let's see here. Robert Jastrow of NASA's Goddard Institute for Scientific Studies. Here's what he says. Now, we see how the astronomical evidence leads to a biblical view of the origin of the world. The details differ, but essential elements in the astronomical and biblical accounts of Genesis are the same. The chain of events leading to man commenced suddenly and sharply at a definite moment in time in a flash of light and energy. This is an exceedingly strange development, unexpected by all but theologians. He's being pretty nice to theologians, honestly. They have always believed the word of the Bible, but we scientists did not expect to find evidence for an abrupt beginning, because we have had until recently such extraordinary success in tracing the chain of cause and effect backward in time. At this moment, it seems as though science will never be able to raise the curtain on the mystery of creation. For the scientist who has lived by faith in the power of reason, the story ends like a bad dream. He has scaled the mountains of ignorance. He is greeted by a band of theologians who have been sitting there for centuries. But to be honest with you, Charles Darwin was graduated with a degree in theology. He did not graduate with a degree in science. So actually, the theologians let us down a long time ago, unfortunately. But that was a NASA scientist kind of saying that. One thing also is the anthropic principle. And that principle is something we found in science. Why is the Earth able to maintain life? What we find is that all the issues that have to do with life are very, very careful. Anything different would destroy life on the Earth. If the Earth was any bigger, then the weight and gravity upon the tectonic plates would make it sink, and then all the water would cover the Earth, and then poison from the land and the dirt would poison up the oceans, and there would be no life. If the Earth was any smaller, the gravity would be lighter. And so if the Earth was smaller, it couldn't keep the ozone layer together. So basically, if the Earth was farther away, it'd be too cold. If it was closer to the sun, it'd be too hot. All these little bitty factors, if the air pressure was any different, we wouldn't be able to maintain life on the Earth. So essentially, those are some of the things that we're kind of leading up to into this idea of the evidence against evolution for creation.